second item is Santa Clara County BART extension update on Phase 1 and Phase 2, and this is an informational item. Items appear on page 27 in your packet. We will have a short presentation from staff, and we will go directly to public comment.
So staff in this case includes not only Bob Mitroff from BART, but also guests from BTA. And Bob, I'll turn it over to Bob, who will introduce our partners.
Okay. Good morning, directors. Bob Mitroff, PD&C. I'm here with Layla Hidayat, who's the Silicon Valley Extension Phase 2 Planning and Programming Manager. And we also have Brandy Childress in the audience, who is the Public Affairs Manager for BTA. What we have here is a co-created presentation discussing the mitigation plan for the construction of the Phase 2 twin bore subway alignment through downtown San Jose. Seems to be frozen for some reason. Oh, there. Okay. I know. All right, Jackie. I think I got it. Let's see. Just to refresh your memories, I'm going to show you a few slides that we presented at the last meeting we had on the single bore and twin bore discussion. This is the station site of the west option for the downtown San Jose station. You will note it's a 1,000 foot long box, which encompasses not just the station, but the crossover, which would also be done in a cut and cover installation on the eastern side of that alignment. The 4-block area has the main entrance showing on the left and a historic district that is a consideration in the station subway design, pretty much right in the center of that area. Okay. This slide describes the major construction activities for the cut and cover construction of the downtown twin bore station. The durations shown here are not additive, as there is an overlap among the activities as the construction moves on a block-to-block basis across the 4-block area. And then this slide is a summary of the construction phasing plan. Again, the idea is not to do each of those construction activities over the entire 4-block area at the same time, but to work through them on a block-to-block basis. Okay. And with that, Layla will describe the construction schedule for the project.
Thank you, Bob. Thanks for the opportunity to present with BART today. Many of you have seen this schedule often. We are currently in the environmental clearance phase, and we'll be wrapping that up shortly. We will be taking a project recommendation and certifying the state document on April 5th. And then we're anticipating a record of decision from the FTA, Federal Transit Administration, in June. And then we'll be going into engineering and construction, and we are anticipating that we will have passenger service in 2026. Since this project is a pretty robust program, we have obviously in our current environmental document a very robust mitigation plan. We refer to it as the Construction Outreach Management Plan, and there are about 3 components of that plan. I'm going to walk through over the next couple of slides sort of what the intent of those individual plans are, sort of the timing of them. They're all not happening at once. Obviously, some of them relate to construction, and some of them relate to community engagement. And then I will also walk through really who's going to be responsible for those plans as we move forward. So the Construction Education and Outreach Plan, the CEOP, is really a coordination between BTA and the cities of San Jose and Santa Clara. We'll have three phases of that plan. We will have a plan that we will implement during the planning phase as we go into engineering, and then pre-construction, construction, and really this plan, the intent is to get the community engaged, start educating them about the construction activities to come, and answer questions from businesses. Educating the community will be integral for this project since it's complicated and has tremendous amount of impacts on the community, and making sure they're engaged in the process. We currently have a community working group process, and we will continue that and add new members, and so that will be helpful as we move the project through construction. Stakeholder engagement is really critical, as you can imagine, on this, and we have already begun doing that and starting to really go out in the community and engage the public. And then the third component of this, which is important, is business promotion. This is really to kind of educate businesses with and help them with marketing campaigns, making sure that we keep the downtown and the areas, the business areas, minimize the impacts of them during construction. So as a component of this plan, we also have the second part of it, which is the construction transportation management plan. Now this will be primarily BTA working with the GEC, the general engineering contractor, and the cities of San Jose and Santa Clara. We'll be preparing this prior to construction and implementing it throughout construction. It will be an elaborate plan that will be reviewed by all the parties, and it will be for all the project elements throughout the corridor. And this will be really integral to making sure that we communicate what we're doing in terms of construction activities and lane closures and impacts to the community. Again, this is sequencing, durations, signage that's going to be required by the contractor, truck haul routes, and then coordination with the cities to make sure we minimize impacts during special events. This will be an elaborate plan that we'll work through with the cities. The last plan that we have is really the traffic control plan, and that's, again, incredibly important as we move forward into construction. It will be something we work with the cities on, City of San Jose and Santa Clara, and it will allow us to really have a dialogue about all the things that are going to be going on in the city and the timing of construction, making sure we coordinate that, including bus rerouting and impacts to light rail and other transit services. There's a parking component. As you can imagine, parking always becomes highlighted during these projects, and so we will be coordinating all that activity as we move forward during the project and making sure that we actually restore parking in construction areas after they're complete. So the last plan, which we will be looking to our partners at BART to give us some good advice on, since this is going to be this tunnel is going to be going under the city of San Jose and its underground stations. We'll be developing an emergency services coordination plan, and that's really to ensure that we minimize any impact to emergency services coming into the area and supporting the communities. And that will be working with local fire police departments on detour routes, road signage, and making sure we keep an active line of communication with all those entities.
That's our presentation. We'd like to open it up to public comment and any questions you might have.
Let's hear the public comments first.
That's what I plan to do. I have, for this particular item, Roland LeBron. And if Roland has left, there you are.
So first of all, I'm extremely pleased to see the collaboration between BART and the BTA here. I think we are finally headed in the right direction, and we're gonna, basically go ahead with the twin pole, just like the rest of the system. And that resolves a whole bunch of issues, including the absolute disaster that a single bore was causing at the area. It totally destroyed the plan because the bore was actually outside the station box, so that was never going to work. But the problem we have got moving forward is that we're essentially going to be on a collision course here. We're going to be on a collision course with the council member from District 3. I actually met him last week. We had a long chat about this. We're going to be on a complete collision course with the Downtown Association, which you may not know, they were actually formed because of the disaster of bringing the light rail down to downtown. They completely destroyed the businesses. That's why the Downtown Association was formed, so they've been there. And we also...
Please.
So I personally know some really large, long-standing tenants who basically say if this goes through, they've had it. They're just basically walking out of downtown. And I assure you that's going to get Mayor Kelder's attention. But basically, we're got to go back 5 years. And the Downtown Association actually reached out to me because they knew of the studying I was doing of potentially putting an underground high-speed rail station at Deer and say, Roland, is there a better way to do this? And yes, we did come up with a better way. And last year, actually, before the Barcelona trip, I offered to defray cost and have the parties stop by London, look at the Crossrail project, and see how we managed to build 5 of these stations, massive stations, under existing buildings. The motion was denied. But moving forward and wrapping up, I'm actually leaving this afternoon. I'm going to LA. I was invited on Monday by the people involved in construction of Central Subway. If you can't go to London, please reach out to the MTA and ask them if you can look at the Chinatown station. Invite San Jose. Look at the crossover, excavation down there. See how they did this. It's the same company. And finally, at the Finance and Administration Finance Committee earlier this week, I brought to the board's attention, I'm going to ask for a complete audit of the way the VTA has been managing the entire project. That's both phase 1 and phase 2. To look at the program management, which basically is out of whack, finances, and engineering. And Mayor Licardo's actually advised me to bring the matter to the attention of the Governance and Audit Committee on April the 5th, right before the board meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So with that, thank you, Mr. LeBron. We're going to move to item